Welcome to Your Real Talk, the podcast where we take the mystery out of the real estate and home loan industry. I am your host, Luna Petty, your friendly neighborhood mortgage broker, real estate investor, and your guide to all things real estate. Today, I'm here with Maya, and Maya is a real estate agent, and we want to talk about kind of your journey, how you got into the real estate market, and what's kept you here. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Awesome. Thanks again for making time for us. So tell me, how did you find yourself to become a real estate agent?
That is an excellent question. I would not be in the real estate game if it wasn't for my husband.
Okay.
Kind of pushing me to get into real estate. He was actually the first person when dreaming about buying a house while we were still dating. And he told me that I could do it. I could actually buy a house now before we got married. Um, he shifted my mindset.
Yeah.
I thought that I needed to be married and have lots of money, be in my, set career path. And he kind of like broke all of those. He just changed my mindset, broke all that down and said, no, you could buy a house now. You're fresh out of college, but you have a job, you have some savings. And he encouraged me to start the process. And I bought my first house. Excuse me, bought my first house after when I was 25. And shortly after that, we got married. And I I was really encouraged by him just changing my mindset and making it real for me. And so I just wanted to do that for other people, other people. So yeah, that's how I got into real estate. He encouraged me to become a real estate agent and continue sharing my journey and telling other people that they can buy houses too. You don't need
Okay.
to be in the perfect situation. You can probably do it now.
Yeah, yeah. So do you primarily see yourself working with buyers or sellers?
Right now, it's primarily with buyers, first-time home buyers, and I am starting to build up my seller clientele as we speak.
Okay, nice. So every agent kind of has their unique approach to how they work with their clientele. What would you say sets Maya aside from other realtors working with buyers and sellers?
Education is something
Mhm.
that's really important for me. I worked in higher ed for almost 10 years before becoming a full-time real estate agent. So I make that a big part of my business, helping my clients understand the process because it can be so scary um, because there's so many things you don't know. So I
Yeah.
really try to educate my clients, sit down with them and have a conversation about what works best for them. And I'm not just selling houses. That's
Yeah.
not the goal. I'm not trying to get you into a house. I want you to find the house that's right for you.
Hmm.
And I want everyone to win. The buyers, the
Yeah.
sellers, I want everyone to win. So that's, I think, something that's a little bit different. I try to
Yeah.
educate and win wins for everybody.
Yeah, that's huge. Because on the mortgage side, I work with a lot of realtor partners, right? But sometimes I will work with new realtors I haven't worked with before. Maybe I met the buyer first, and you can really feel that difference when a buyer isn't feeling that support, that educational support from the real estate agent. And they're
Yeah.
just like, and they're asking actually me on the loan side for questions that they should be going to their agent for. And you can tell
Yeah.
they don't have that relationship, or that agent just isn't presenting themselves in that way. So it's really important to be able to come off as that educator and that buyer's agent and that seller's agent.
Yeah, I agree. Even when I was buying my first house, I bought with a family member, but I was still so uncertain. I wasn't sure if I can ask questions throughout the process. I wasn't always sure like what happens next. So
Yes.
many, so many steps in the process. Like I was just sitting in uncertainty for so long. So yeah, I tried to do my best to give all the information without overwhelming you, but at least let you know this is what to expect.
Yeah, yeah. And repeat it, right? Because
And
it
repeat
is a
it.
lot of information. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna say this again. Don't worry about it if you don't get it this time. We're gonna talk about it
Hmm.
again.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's your advice for a buyer who's sitting at home on the couch, they're trying to come off the couch and decide to go into the market.
Mm-hmm.
What first bit of advice would you give them in order for them to make the decision, for them to decide is now the time for them or not?
What I usually suggest, because I do have clients who ask me lots of questions before they say, oh, I want to buy in about a year or 2 years, 5 years from now. My first piece of advice is talking with the lender. So I'm glad that they're coming to me. And then I usually recommend them to some of my referral partners and say, just ask the questions, see if
Yeah.
you're ready. If you're not ready now, then talk to the lender and see what you need to do to get ready. Because
Mm-hmm.
talking to them, they can look at your financial situation. I know a lot of people are like, oh, my credit's not good, or I don't have enough saved yet, or I don't have this, and this in place. That may be true, but the lender is an expert and they can give you advice on how to get yourself in the position to actually get qualified. So
Have
yeah,
you ever worked with a buyer who's like, I don't think I can do it. I'm not in a position. And partner them with a lender and they find out, oh, geez.
that, oh, that they can't get it.
That they can. They're like,
Oh,
oh,
that
wait,
they can't.
I can buy
Yes,
it right now?
yes, that happens more often than not. So that's why I'm like, just talk to a lender. You don't know that you're not ready. You might be ready right now. And I'd rather you buy something now and start the process.
Yeah.
So yeah, you built that equity in the house right now.
Mhm.
Don't wait.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of time we're focused on buyers, 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 but what about sellers? Sellers are often worried about how to price their homes, if they're pricing it too high, too low. What advice would you have for sellers in this kind of market on how to figure that pricing out and where they should be in listing their house for sale, or if they should be listing their house for sale?
I mean, obviously it depends on your situation. So I would find a trusted realtor somebody that you trust, somebody that you know and trust. Um, as realtors, we have strategies that we use to price your home. So we'll compare it to other houses on the market that have sold, and that's kind of how we determine what we recommend as a selling price. And I would also say talk to somebody that you trust because it may not be the best time to sell. They may recommend that you rent for a little bit. That's why you got to talk to somebody you trust because, you know, not all realtors are made the same. And some realtors just want that commission and they say, put it on the market, even though that might not be the best situation for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I, I would talk with the realtor that you trust to determine if selling is the right move for you. Selling can be great if you need that money to buy your next house. Renting might be great if the market's not the best right now. Um, and I'm in Southern California in Riverside. So summers are usually a good time to sell right before the summer, like March, May, June-ish. Those are great times to sell. People want to buy a house before school starts again. So those are good times to get on the market. If you can wait a little bit, it might be good to wait a little bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it just depends on, where you are. But talk to a trusted realtor to help determine the best move for you.
Mm-hmm. So what trends were transitioning from 24 to 25? What
Hmm.
trends, if any, do you see in the real estate market for buyers or sellers that they should be watching out for, or that maybe is cyclical and we see it coming back?
Um, we, I think prices are going to continue to go up, unfortunately. Which it's great for sellers and my clients who have already purchased and are building equity. Very
Hmm.
happy for them. But since I do work with a lot of first-time home buyers, that makes it harder for them
Yeah.
to get into the market. So that's something that I see. Pricing probably going up. All the lenders that I talk to are predicting that interest rates should be going down a little bit. They all predict different times of the year, but
Mhm.
hopefully they do go down. That will help. Um, other that's probably those are probably the big ones.
Okay, That makes sense. It's just, okay, prices seem like they're a lot of everybody's waiting for them to drop and oh, where there's going to be a bottom out of the market. And based on what you're seeing, it looks like, hey, prices are going to steady climb
Hmm.
and interest rates, we kind of, and on the loan side, I'm always being asked to predict where interest rates are going to be. I'm like,
We have no crystal balls.
right. Your guess might be as good as mine. I mean, yes, I follow the market trends. I'm following the bond. I listen to the economist. But if
Mm,
you listen to the Fannie Mae economist, you're going to get a completely different answer than when you listen to like Wells Fargo's economist, and then National Association of Realtors economist is going to have a webinar. This is something else. So,
yeah. Yeah. Things change. We don't know until we know.
yeah,
Everything's
absolutely.
guessing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're with, is it Windermere
I
Brokerage?
am, I, excuse me, I am with Windermere Tower. We are actually moving. So January 1st, my office is um separating from Windermere, which I love Windermere. They've been great. Our office loves Windermere, but they're making some changes that yeah, they're just making some changes. So my office has decided to move away. And today, actually, they're going public with a new announcement. We're going to be Tower Agency. Well, January 1st, it'll be official and everywhere. It's really exciting. I'm really happy for my
Exciting.
brokerage.
So
Yeah,
what does Tower Agency bring to the real estate market for your buyers and sellers? And what is having them behind you help you provide to your buyers and sellers?
ooh, excellent question. So my office is one of the top selling offices in Riverside.
Hey now.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We are a small office. There aren't a lot of agents there, and yet we're still the top producer. So for buying and selling. I mean, outside of new construction, we are the top agency. So we have the resources. We have in-house marketing teams. We also we sell the most luxury properties in the city, so we know how to help those clients. We have agents that work in the high desert. We have agents that work in Riverside. So we are most of Southern California we can cover. And we also have off-market properties, which this year was the first year that I got to do a little work with off-market properties, just because our office has the most listings in all of Riverside. We can make those connections for you. So if I was able to connect a buyer with another seller for a property that wasn't on the MLS, it wasn't marketed publicly, but because my office has so many listings, we're able to make those connections and help you sell your house, even if you
Yeah.
don't want to make it public. And we're able to help you buy houses that aren't publicly available to see online. So that's
Mhm.
one of the benefits of working in this office. We have resources and we have talented people. One of the reasons I chose this office is because they give back, and community is very important to me. We every transaction that we close, we donate a portion of our commission to to a fund, and we donate that fund to a nonprofit in the city. So we're always giving back. We have
Wow.
um, different community events. We collect gifts for Christmas time. We do park cleanups. We volunteer. We have our hands in all the city
I
because
love
we live
that.
here and we want to give back to the community that we live in.
I love that. So do you have an event? Maybe does your office do a home buyer workshop for the community?
Not my office, but individual agents.
Okay.
This year, so I do first time home buyer workshops, usually virtually, but this was the first year I did it in person. It was really exciting. So the way that mine work, because I do them differently, I
Okay.
we meet at my office, we'll do a brunch because I love brunch. Chicken and waffles is my
Yeah.
favorite. So I have a local caterer that I work with, and
Great.
she brings the food. And so we eat and we chat and we talk about the process. And that's another part of the education piece. So even when you're not ready to buy right now, if you just want to know about the process, you can come to the first time home buyer event. We'll talk, I'll answer questions. It is interactive. So we talk. You can ask the questions that you don't know.
Yes.
I'll have a lender there to answer the financial questions. I'll be there to answer the process questions. Also, just I'm meeting with a new partner about taxes as well. So hopefully I'll have her there for the next one. And then we all hop on a shuttle bus, and we go and actually tour houses and learn
Okay.
more about the city. And you'll just get to see the houses, which I thought was a fun part. I love house touring. So um, I
Nice.
take them out on a party bus. We have more information. We'll see more people. We'll see the houses. And I can point out things that I'm looking at while like as if you're a real client at that time.
Wow.
And I show you the process. So yeah, that's how I do my home buyer events. And then there are other people in my office who do them. And you've been
Mhm.
to home buyer events as well. So everyone does them differently, but that's how I do it.
I love that. I love that. Do you have the next one on the calendar yet that we can
I
promote?
will send you the information. It will be in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the perfect time of year. Everybody's getting their taxes done. It's tax refund time, and people
Mhm.
are thinking about what can I do with this tax refund? And the best thing you can do, or one of the best things you can do, is invest in real estate if you don't have any yet, or if you're looking to grow your portfolio. So
Mhm.
that's good timing. That March timeframe is perfect timing.
I
Well played. No? Now, when you're at those workshops, have you ever had somebody ask just like a surprising question and you're like, oh, okay, I've never heard that one before? Has there ever been anything that's just caught you off guard? Like, oh, okay, good question, but haven't heard that
have
one
to get back to you.
yet.
Um, Only like financial questions because I'm not a financial expert. I,
Okay,
that's why I like to have have a lender there to
yeah,
support that side. Um, yeah, I no crazy questions yet on that part.
got it, got it. Well, sounds like you're really busy. So let me see. After a long day of educating buyers, working with sellers, what does Maya do to unwind? What does that look like?
Well, I have a baby boy. Well, he's not a baby
Oh,
anymore. He's 3.
oh, yeah, he's not a baby anymore, but he's your baby.
Yeah, he's my baby. So I spend a lot of time with him and my husband. We love going to the movies, particularly the drive-in. We have 2 drive-in theaters in Riverside, if you're looking for one. Um, and yeah, we like going to the park, going for walks, riding bikes. Um, I we moved to Riverside when I was still pregnant with my son. So we're going on our 4th year soon.
Okay.
And we love Riverside. We we moved here. It was supposed to be a temporary move. We bought another
Mm-hmm.
house to fix up. Right now, my house is old. It was built in 1917. We were gonna
Oh,
move
wow.
in and fix it all up, and then move back to where we were living before. But we love it here. It's we love it here. There's so many community events. There's parks nearby. We're close to downtown, so we can walk to the library. So yeah. Oh, we love going to the library. We love being here. We love our neighbors. So that's what we do. We usually spend time, have play dates with the neighbors, go for walks, and just hang out.
Hey, so I love that. You're really in your community. I love that. I love
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I'm older now, have a kid, or if it's this place, but this we've built such a beautiful community here. We
Mhm.
know our neighbors. My neighbor's watching my son right now, so I can be here with you. There are emergency contacts. 'Cause our family's not close by, but this community has been wonderful. I love it here.
I love that. I love that. So, if you could, I've heard you say you were remodeling or were planning to remodel the place that you're in now. If you could do one over the top feature remodel that you've seen or add something to your property, what would that over the top, like just maybe if it's gaudy or if it's just like, oh, I want a heated bathroom floors, or what would that over the top feature be for you?
Ooh, hmm. Oh, there's so many projects that I have in mind. Oh, probably the wisest. most expensive things that we should probably add would be an ADU.
Oh, that's practical.
But we need I want another, I want to add another bedroom. I
Okay.
just need places for family to stay. Our house
Oh,
is old and it's funky, and my husband, he also works from home. So like all of our rooms are used up. We need another space for guests to come. But let me see. A more fun would probably be like a pot filler. I really want those
oh, I see that a
above the
lot.
stove, so
Yeah.
I don't have to go and get the water. I can just put it in. And I want pots that have the measurements inside, so I don't have to use a measuring cup.
I like that. Yeah. So that's to say you like to cook. Are you a big cook?
That's so, it's so funny. I don't like to, I prefer to leave all the grocery shopping and cooking to my husband.
Oh,
But
my gift to him. My gift to him.
yeah, I mean you know,
I love
I
it.
would prefer that he do all of the cooking, but it just doesn't work out that way because of our schedules. So when I do cook, those are like the little luxury things that would make it more enjoyable for me.
There we go. Okay. I see your brain works in very practical ways. The ADU, the pot filler functionality. You're like,
It is. It's functional and beautiful.
I love it. I love
That is
it.
my style.
Yeah, I love it. Question for you, Maya. Let's talk to people who are aspiring realtors. They look at what
Yeah.
we do, especially on HGTV, and they're like, I
Oh,
can do that. Looks so
yeah.
easy, glorified, you know. So
Hmm.
what if you had to say, you know what, this is the reality, this is what real estate really is. It's not for the weak. That was my word, but I've seen you guys before. I did dabble in real estate. I've been in the industry for a while, so
Okay.
I did play on the real estate side for a while, and I came back over here to the lender broker side. Like, I like this. I could do this. So what advice would, or maybe even it's not advice, but what information or communicate, what would you want to communicate to somebody who's like, I think I can do real estate and that looks really easy. I could do that.
Um, so something that probably surprised me the most when I got into the business is I worked in higher ed and I sat behind a desk because I worked at an online university. Um, I thought, "I'm getting into real estate, I'm not going to sit at a desk anymore. I'm going to be out on the streets showing houses." That's not the case. It's not the case at all. I sit at a desk quite often, and even if it's not at a desk, I'm like sitting down, having lunch with someone or networking because you have to meet a lot of people. So that was the biggest surprise. I was not super excited about that part. And also the paperwork. There's so much paperwork and contracts involved and legalisms that I, I mean, not every realtor will know everything about the contracts because we can get assistants who will do all the contract paperwork for us. But
Mhm.
because educating is so important to me, like, I know all the contracts and I try to explain the contracts to my clients so they know what they're getting themselves into. I want
Yeah.
everyone to feel comfortable. You're not selling your soul. Um, this is just what, this is what is saying. And if you're comfortable, then we'll go for it. So there's a lot of contracts to know. And yeah, you have to meet a lot of people. I don't consider myself I'm a pretty shy person. So that was something I had to get over to continue my business and meet more people and network because I don't love cold calling people. I love to have that relationship. I think it helps to have a better transaction. And I continue my relationship. A lot of my clients become friends later on. So I still see them. I have client appreciation events that I host so we can all get together and hang out because I miss them after after we close
I
on
know,
the
right? We get so close. Like I've talked to you every day for the past 3, 4 months, and now I'm
I
like,
know. Yeah. So, um, yeah, it's a relationship business. Well, I have built my business as a relationship business. There are a lot of contracts, and you have to sit behind a desk for a while. So be prepared for that. And it can be expensive. to get you need money up front to get started in the business. So I don't think that should be a deterrent for you, but it's just something that you should know ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the realist. That's the realist advice because they see the glamour or they think the big checks and they don't see the things that you just really gave as like, hey, this is what day to day looks like.
Yeah, and the big checks, like you get a check, yes, one lump sum, but that has to last you for a while. That check comes, you're splitting that check with your agency, with your brokerage,
Mhm.
excuse me, and then you have other fees, office fees, or franchise fees, depending on what office you're with. You have marketing, you have gas, you have taxes. Like that big check, what you actually bring home is not, you're not bringing home all of that. So that was also something I guess I had to realize, and that you should know about. It's
Yeah.
not, shouldn't be a deterrent, but you should be aware so you can plan your business properly.
Yeah, that's the realist. A lot of people aren't seeing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And holding not holding anything back. I know.
Absolutely.
You asked me, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, education is part of my business. So on
I
all
love it.
fronts.
Right, right. I love it. So Maya, where can listeners find you, whether they're buyers, sellers, or maybe an aspiring agent that wants to see if they can join your team? Where would they, or your agency, where would they be able to find you?
So I am at Tower Agency in Riverside. And if you want to look for me, I'm at Maya Finds Home on Instagram and Facebook. I do plan to start a YouTube channel this year so I can continue that education piece. So thank you, Lena, for having me. This has been good practice.
Yay.
So it will also be everything's Maya Finds Home. My email is Maya at Maya Finds Home, Tower Agency in Riverside. And I should have a website coming up soon. We're still in transition, so that's not up yet. But if you'd like to have a consultation, my consultations are free for buyers and sellers if you just want information. And I will have that first time home buyer uh, tour brunch event in March. So I'll send you that information as well.
Love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on with me today and for sharing everything that you shared with me and anyone listening. It's been fun getting to know you.
Absolutely. It's been great meeting you as well. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks again.
Mhm. Bye.
Bye.